Has anyone else noticed the serious lack of good original films coming from Disney? Recently, it just popped into my mind. Old films I used to like Iron Will, White Fang, The Greatest Game Ever Played, Miracle. The list goes on. There's plenty I haven't seen, but I've seen a good amount of them from the 90s to the early 2000s. And I noticed in the early 2000s it did branch off a little bit to be more sports films. And in the 90s, it was much more nature centered, which personally, I love that. I love how all those films were so focused with connecting with animals, connecting with nature in general, you know? Or if it wasn't part of the plot of connecting with an animal, it was still like in the environment. Like I don't know, something about the producers at Disney in the 90s were just all about that. And I think that had a really strong impact on the way I grew up. I'm thankful for that. I really do love that. And I love how much I love nature because of the films I grew up with, you know? So the past few days, I've just been revisiting some of those films. And I actually saw one for the first time, which was The Journey of Natty Gan. That was a really good film. John Cusack was so young. It was cool seeing him. And just in general, it was a really nice little adventure of just a poor girl just trying to get to her dad. You know, and I think that's what's missing in modern Disney. I mean, there's plenty wrong with Disney right now. I mean, the videos go on and on and on, you know. But something that I think that's missing for the kids, for the children these days, are just good original live action films. Like besides all the remakes, where are the live action films? The animation department is still pretty good, you know, like they have their flaws. I don't think it's as good as it. Obviously, I'm biased. It's not as good as the old days. It's still good, you know. They're still making money on that, but their live action films pretty much tank all of them because they're just so unoriginal. And I just think that they should try to get back to the way they used to do films, which was just focusing on a young person. It could be a little kid, or it could be someone that's a teenager, or even someone like a young adult. In The Greatest Game Ever Played, Shia LaBeouf is supposed to be a 20-year-old, you know? He looks young, but a very accurate looking 20-year-old, I would say. And all these films, it's just such a simple formula that you need to do for kids. You just need to provide good lessons for them, good morals, good universal morals, you know, not putting your own thing. I mean, you could do that. You could do that more with the overall story, putting your own sensibilities and all that. But I think when you're trying to show a good example for kids, you just keep it simple, you know, be kind, be courageous, stand up for yourself, follow your dreams. And I think that's a great one. Follow your dreams. That's something that I think was so impactful growing up. So impactful from old Disney. That was always like dreams come true. Follow your dreams. Anything is possible. I mean, you know, that's a beautiful thing. That's something that kids need to hear. That's something that not all kids receive from their parents or from their siblings, aunts, uncles, whatever, teachers. You know, they don't all receive that exact thing, but you could receive so much from art, from stories, you know. And I think that's something that old Disney did so well, which was make you feel like anything was possible. And also the music. I mean, I bring up music all the time. I think all these movies had such great music, but that's not necessarily important, I guess. That's not necessarily the big problem with Disney films today. But I love the music in those films back then. Yeah, it's just a quick little thing. I want to do little bit more of a deep dive on one of the films I mentioned here in another video. But yeah, that's all I have to say for this one. I just had that, like, it wasn't a realization. I mean, we all know this, you know, modern Disney isn't the best. But as I was just rewatching these films, I was just like, man, the formula is so simple. Pick your story, pick your adventure, whatever, you know, that belongs to the writer for that particular film. But it's just so easy of what it needs to be important and central to these films, which is just good values, you know, good values for these kids. Also, you don't need to make movies too goofy. That's something that is very distinct, I noticed in these films. They're not filled with humor, or they're filled with humor but naturalistic humor, more for adults, almost like not mature humor, but I feel like it doesn't need to be goofy. There's a difference of like natural humor that you see in films and just goofy, just like slapstick comedy, just things like that, like things where you're just like, haha, that was a joke, or just out of touch humor. It seems these days it does just seem like out of touch humor from a writer. These movies, they weren't dead serious, but they were always lighthearted. And I think that's what's important for kids, to be lighthearted, but it doesn't need to be comedy. Yeah, I think that's really missing because kids can handle more serious things. I mean, look at Marvel. Marvel's so popular. And yes, Marvel's known for being lighthearted and having humor, but those films are pretty serious when they need to be. There's plenty of drama in Marvel films. And, kids are there for it, So obviously, a drama in the woods can't compare to a Marvel film in popularity. But I think that slowly, if these films are made with really good quality, high quality writing and acting, I think these films could make an impact today. I think so. Let me know what you guys think about that, and also let me know your guys' favorite movies from the 90s and early 2000s, or even older. There is a lot. Scrolling through Disney Plus, I was like, man, I felt like I've seen all of them. And scrolling through them, I was like, dude, there is a lot that they've been doing since like the 80s. I mean, they've been doing them forever, but I just mean like really pumping them out. It seemed like since like the mid 80s, Disney just had like a really good live action catalog. So yeah, let me know you guys' favorites. Thanks for watching.